Hey guys, welcome back. Sergey and I are here in the Cotswolds, and when he arrived, he said he had something special for me. And that something special was footage of him and my stepdad taking care of the garden while I was in London, frolicking through the beautiful gardens and the city. There were a list of things that I left behind in the garden that needed to get done, and I put all of my trust in Sergey and my stepdad, and I have no idea how they did things. I did walk through a lot of the things that I wanted done, things like planting the rest of our dahlias, which you guys know was like a big deal, that I was willing to allow somebody else to do that because I always plant my dahlias. Nobody else has their hands on my dahlias except me. So that was a little bit difficult to do, but he did a great job. I was literally watching him on FaceTime, like, okay, do this, measure this. It was probably super obnoxious, but he took it upon himself to film himself and my stepdad doing some other chores in the garden. I haven't seen the footage yet. I'm dying to see it. So I thought bonus video for us to have this week and to watch and react to all of the things that my husband did while I was gone on vacation. So let's have a look and watch this together for the first time and see if they did a good job. All right, here we go.
Okay, welcome back to In the Claudia. Come back to In the Garden with Claudia with Sergey. Okay, I know I'm not on camera, so I'm just gonna get that out of the way. Not quite ready to be on camera 100%, so there's that. But I did want to try something a little different today. Okay, as many of you know, Claudia's in London, England, visiting the gardens and attending the Chelsea garden show or flower show. And anyway, so I'm just been doing some things around the house, and today I kind of wanted to capture some of that stuff. And so it's gonna be really a mishmash of items. If the audio is terrible, I'm sorry. I don't have the mics. I'm just using the built-in mic on the camera. But yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a mishmash. I'm gonna tackle a couple things. We're gonna treat some problem areas, insect problem areas. I'll show you that in a minute. And then we're gonna do some air layering propagation to my fig trees. I got one fig tree that I really love, but I don't like how it's growing, so I'm gonna pull a few limbs off, and we're gonna get that looking nice. I'm gonna show you that, and then also I'm going to get my tomatoes for uppotting that I've started in little tiny seed trays. So we're gonna, those three things.
So let me pause right there. First of all, I don't know if you guys can see the sunset behind me in our Airbnb, but it is amazing. We are staying on a 83-acre farm, and it's a sheep farm, and it's beautiful. I have to show you guys some clips. Hi, babies. Honey. Anyways, back to the video. So I think, okay, there are three things going on here. One are the pests that we've been having in our garden, and we thought about doing beneficial mites for a really long time. We did nematodes a couple of years back, and that worked really well for things like grubs in our garden. Highly recommend if you haven't done that before. It's a huge help. I think we're going to see Sergey probably putting down the mites that he picked up. I think he picked it up at a local place, if I'm not mistaken. And then the propagating. So we propagate our figs every year, well, almost every year, I would say. We used to have about 45 fig trees at one point because Sergey loves fig trees. And I'm sure when we have a bigger property, we're going to have like an orchard just for figs. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. So that's number 2. And then what was number 3? Oh, his tomatoes. So we grow a lot of tomatoes in our garden. We don't do a ton of veggies, but we do tomatoes. And I don't want to brag, but we're like wizards when it comes to tomatoes. But here's the thing. We started our tomatoes super late. When I left, they were like teeny tiny. So I don't know what they're going to look like now. Well, I lied because I had my mom send me a picture 2 days ago of our little dahlias and our tomatoes. And they actually put on quite a bit of size. Anyway, so let's see what he did next.
Let's have a look at the insect problem.
Okay.
I hope I can find all of them, but we're going to start with aphids. And obviously, super easy to spot. There's a ton. And these are our hops, right? They're even underneath. Yeah, it's terrible. Okay, so you see some of them are actually kind of dead. And we even have some thrips, apparently. Now,
sorry, not to cut him off, but we did have a problem with thrips last year. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy because they are so hard to get rid of and they are such a pest in the garden. And we mostly had it on our roses and a little bit on our dahlias, but nothing too bad.
Now, I don't know what they look like. Claudia's seen them. And
they're very long and skinny.
so what I did yesterday is I sprayed Azmax, which I think is like a neem oil derivative, and I was happy when I sprayed it. I'm like, okay, I took care of business. I'm gonna come back, probably spray in a couple of days, but then in the morning, and maybe that's a thrip right there, the little like fly looking thing, if the camera would zoom in or focus a little bit. But anyway, and today in the morning I came in and I was just like looking around, and then I see these. Now I didn't see them last night when I sprayed, and it just kind of like put a bad taste in my mouth. It's terrible. It's infested, and I don't know why. It's always like this general area. Maybe it's like the lack of moving air, just extra humidity and like really favorable conditions. But
that's exactly right. Like that little nook right there is probably one of the areas in our garden that has the least amount of airflow. And we talked about this before in a video where there are microclimates in our garden. So understanding that will also help you become a better gardener, because although we garden here in Zone 8B in the Pacific Northwest, there are spots of our garden that definitely feel cooler and ones that feel a little bit more warmer, areas that feel a little bit more humid. And that's all within 1/4 of an acre, which is our whole lot. So imagine when you have bigger spaces, you really have to understand those little microclimates, because that will help you deter certain pests and maybe prevent planting certain plants in those areas. So that's just something to keep in mind.
And then we have another area in the front. So what I decided to do, and Claudia has been talking about using like predatory mites, and we were going to order some online, but after doing a little bit of research, I found a company local, and I went and picked some up. Okay, so let me show you what we got here. Okay, we got these like they call them crazy mites. What is their name? Hold on, let me have a look. They call them crazy mites, and and I'm gonna butcher the name badly, but they're Anistes baccarum. And anyway, a predatory mite. They're extremely carnivorous. They're really fast moving, so they cover a lot of ground. Love aphids and thrips. And they kind of look like spider mites, which is so weird, but apparently these are much bigger. Oh yeah, and they love spider mites too. And anyway, these I'm going to release today, so I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to just release them in a couple areas here in the back and then a little bit in the front. And these, even though I sprayed yesterday, but the ladies at the store told me I should probably release these today, because they will start to actually eat themselves. Like I said, they are very carnivorous. What was so effective about them is that they will actually kill more than they consume and eat. So it's almost like a wasteful dinner, but it's good for me. I'm just gonna sprinkle them a little bit on the plants, and I'm gonna come the next day and just kind of knock them off, and I'm gonna wait on the second predatory mite. Now, these are cucumerus, another predatory mite, and they're here somewhere. You can't really see them. Apparently, they're tiny, and they're just packaged here in. Well, the other one's like packaged in bark dust. These are packaged in a barley, apparently. Now, these I'm gonna actually wait and put them out tomorrow. I just want the Azimex to kind of wear off and get off the plant. That way these can be a little bit more productive. But anyway, yeah, these two are extremely good together. They pair very well together. So super excited to give it a try, and let's see how it goes. I'm gonna go spread them right now. Come on, fellas, let's get to work. So here's a problem area. So I'm just gonna sprinkle them a little bit, and I'm gonna wash, or I'm gonna blow this off. Yeah, I want to blow it off tomorrow, but for now, just give them something to kind of like stick onto. Let them be. It's okay. Let them be a little lazy. And then obviously my hops. Apparently, so they move around pretty quick, and so I don't need to spread them too much, but I just want to help them out a little bit. They are very mobile, super mobile. And now let's move to the front area. Okay, here's the other area. We have 2 roses in the front, and
real quick, these 2 roses, I think I planted them up last year, and that area is also a problem area because there's not a lot of airflow. So those 2 containers fork the garage door. We don't have a garage there. There's a bedroom behind that. There was like a conversion made before we even bought the house. But anyways, that area doesn't have a lot of airflow. And before we used to have 2 limelight standards, and they were beautiful, but every year they were getting spider mites. So what I did is I took them out, I cleaned them off, I sprayed them down, and then I gave it to my friend, and she has them in her garden, and they're thriving. Like, they have no issues. So it's that area specifically. So I think with these predatory mites, I think there's going to be a lot of improvement, I'm hoping, because if not, then we really have to think about something else. Because the roses have been kind of not been doing super well over there. They had a little bit of black spot. They already had aphids, and it's like the season hasn't even like started, like really kicked off. I mean, it has now, but when I saw the problems, it was pretty early on. So I'm happy he is spreading some of the mites there as well.
This morning I saw aphids on them, and I don't know why, but this area here, we had hydrangeas, and every year they would get infected with or infested with spider mites. So before it gets a big problem,
perfect,
I'm gonna do it. We have
oh, the garden looks so pretty. I miss it. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward this because he's just going to be spreading it. Oh, it looks like he talks to our neighbor about it too. So one thing to keep in mind is if you do have close proximity with your neighbor, I would highly recommend you order more. Like if you are going to do the mites, order more than you think you need. That way you can also spread it a little bit in their garden. And I actually do remember Sergey, after he did this, he called me and he told me that he did the mites. I just never got to see the footage of it. And he told me he spread it in our neighbor's yard too, because I know that some of her roses have it. And so if you are only treating the problems in your area, it might come back because your neighbors most likely have it. And I know that's not great, but I'm also that type of person, like, look, if there's a problem and if our neighbors' plants are impacting my plants, then I'm going to try to treat them as well. That way we can kind of eradicate the issue altogether. And it's just like, yes, you're spending a little bit more money, but not a whole ton. So to me, it was worth it to, or I guess it was worth it for him and for me that he took the opportunity to spray it or spread them in her garden as well. All right, so I just kind of flipped through the video here, and it's just him and the neighbor talking. So let's go on to the next garden task.
Okay, I'm back. So we just spread the crazy mites. Don't laugh, I have a little bucket here I like to sit on while I do things.
So wait, funny story. Serg is like smiling at me, he's back there. Since he was a baby, like a little boy, he would always have a little bucket or a little chair in the garden. His mom told me, because they used to garden a lot back in Ukraine. Anyways, and his mom would tell me how like everywhere, like any garden chore we did, his brothers would be like running around picking potatoes, but Sergey would just like take it easy. He would work smart. He had a little bench or a little stool with him or a little bucket that he would, you know, sit, pick, move, sit, pick, and move. And I'm like, that is so cute that he still does this. I don't know why. That's just such a cute little, I don't know. It's just adorable to me.
Everybody makes fun of me or teases me that I always try to find the easy way out or make it comfortable or this or that. You know, the way I see it is if you're going to do something like gardening, do it so you feel good, you feel comfortable, you enjoy it. So here I am with my bucket, do my thing. But anyway, I'm going to put these back and we're going to hide them in a nice, cool, dark area for the time being until I put them out tomorrow. So this is going to be like a two-part video. Yeah, it'll be a two-part video, and not a two-part video, I should say. This will be recorded on different days, but all put together into one video. So there's that.
All right, so that is the end of that. So let's see what he does next. Okay, so now he's going to move on to the air layering, and we'll see what he does. Now, I will say air layering is such a great way to propagate figs. I know a lot of people will do, they'll cut the branches off. You can soak them or you'll just pot them up in little containers and then you keep them in a warm area. And that works really well too. But we've just found that air layering is the best way to propagate fruit trees, specifically for us, fig trees. It's always just, we've had like 100% success with it. So
this is the fig we're going to be working on today. This is a Smith fig. Now I got this fig, I would say 4 years ago. I love it because it's like a perfect combination of sweet to size to meatiness, and it has the most beautiful like strawberry color. And anyway, we got it, ordered it online. I think it came from like Louisiana or something, and I love it. But it is a not the cold hardiest fig, and as you can see, that's what happened. 1 year I did not protect it and it died back. I think this was like 2 years ago. So I ended up cutting it and I shot out all of these limbs. Now these are the limbs we're going to be working on today. There's about like what, one, I would say 2, 3, 4, 5 really nice ones, and those are the 5 I'm gonna do. These I'm not gonna bother with, and I'm going to show you different methods, but they're all going to be air layering. And so let's have a look. A couple supplies. Now you don't need everything. I'm just going to show you everything, all the different methods. One, we're just going to use a plastic bottle, an old little container. We need a rooting hormone. This is what I'm excited about, is these special air layering contraptions. Now I got these several years ago, never had a chance to use them, but we're going to use them today. It's not necessary. And the other one is a bag method. and then some aluminum foil to just kind of retain the moisture, protect it from the direct sun. We need some really moist potting soil. That's what I have here. You can use like sphagnum moss. We ran out of that, so I'm just using a good quality potting mix. I don't want to continue dipping into the rooting hormone. I'm just going to create a little tiny plate to pour some in. Don't want to contaminate.
So that is one thing you have to keep in mind is whenever you're using any sort of rooting hormone, you never want to dip into the actual container. You always want to pour it out into like a little dish or like a little piece of foil like he's doing here, because you don't want to contaminate your product. So whether you're using the powder or the liquid or like the Clone X that we're using, which is more like gelatinous, do not dip your cuttings of any kind in there in case it's diseased or anything, because that will contaminate the whole container.
So the idea with air layering is we're going to propagate without cutting. Like, you know, you can always, like in the wintertime when the plant is dormant or about to break bud, you can always like cut it here, put into like a little propagation cell, or put into a container, put on a heat mat, and do it that way. To be honest, I've never had great luck with it. I have the best luck with air layering. The other benefit of air layering is that you can get big branches like this to root. The other method, you need something smaller. It cannot handle full-on foliage. Too much energy is going to the foliage. And what air layering will allow us to do is start the rooting process while it is connected to the actual mother plant. So it can continue getting nutrients in a way, or maybe not, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. This is for entertainment purposes only. But okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna find like a leaf node, and right below it we're going to cut away at the bark. The idea here is we're going to cut away, exposing the flesh underneath. And the idea here is this is supposed to stop. So I'm gonna make two cuts, one above and one below. So actually I'm gonna put on gloves because figs are known for releasing a sappy, like a latex substance. I think it is, yeah, it is latexy. And so if you're allergic to it, be careful, wear gloves. I'm not allergic to it, but it becomes super, super sticky. And I'm not gonna be, it dries quick and it is a pain. It's just a pain. I'm gonna wear some gloves. Okay. So the idea is like to break that bark and get it to root right above it. Should root around here. So I'm gonna try to peel it back. Okay, so anyway, cutting this should like break the natural flow of nutrients or something like that. And what that will do is nutrients can go, I think how it goes, like it can flow up, but it can't flow down. And when it flows down, it stops right here, and then it forces the roots out. They're editing because I cannot edit. She's the mastermind behind all of that. So you don't always have to do this step, and I've seen people not cut away at the bark. Mm-hmm. Some people will just like put the soil up against the base of the limb, and it works. But for me, I don't know. I never had luck with that. So cut away at the bark. Now, another little trick is you score the wood. Now this is where I get my best results, scoring the wood. I've tried it before many ways, doing it, not doing it. Scoring the wood, you kind of like break up the cambium layer. I think that's how it goes. The exact science behind it, I'm not sure. But just like adding growth hormone, is that one extra little hack to get it to work. Okay, now we have put some rooting hormone here. I'm going to take a little Q-tip, just take some. Again, you can use any rooting hormone. I like the Clone X. Always have. It's kind of like gel, not a powder, not a liquid. So in cases like this, I can apply it and then move on to my next step without having to worry that it, like drips off or something like that. And just put a normal amount. I don't know if that's a healthy amount or a little bit, but anyway, okay. What we're gonna do with this guy. So the idea here is I'm gonna take this little container, just gonna cut into it because we need to wrap it around. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put the pot around. Do that. So bring the camera in. You can see how it looks in there. And now I'm gonna just fill it up with potting soil. Make sure the potting soil is fairly moist. The idea is that you want to have enough moisture that you don't have to water or it dries out and the roots just stop coming out or stop trying to form. But you can always come back and add more more water, which we always do. Kind of come in with a little water bottle and just squirt up in there. Now I'm going to take the foil. And the idea of the foil is, especially if there's going to be in a very well-lit area, a lot of sun, a lot of direct sun, having a black pot with soil, one, it'll dry out quicker, two, it'll be too hot. It'll be really hot in there. So the idea with the foil is that it'll hold in the moisture and kind of reflect some of that sun, keeping it cool. But here, because the side garden is not like too much direct sun, too much afternoon sun, none of that. So we don't need to do it, but still gonna do it to kind of keep it tight and show you the different options. Okay. Okay, there we go. So in this little area here, we can always access it if we need to add water. Just gonna close it up a little bit, but this one is good to go. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but you will see when we do an update video, you will see the roots growing. This one is good to go. Mm-hmm. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but you will see when we do an update video, you will see the roots growing.
So yes, it's not the prettiest thing, and I think with those little domes it can look a little bit more neat. However, we're not here to make things look neat. We're here to make things successful in this scenario here. So doing it this way is again the way that we've always done it, and we've had really high success. And now I think he's probably going to show us the other two items that you can use. All right, so the next one, I'm just going to fast forward through here. He's going to do the same exact thing. Again, you're going to cut the first layer off. You're going to score that second layer, and then you're going to put on the rooting hormone, and it looks like he's using the plastic bottle. So same thing, you're going to cut it in half.
The appropriate size.
The appropriate size. And then let's see what he does. So now you've kind of created a, almost like a, what do you call it? So now you've almost created like a little bit of like a shell or a tortilla to go around the branch.
Come up here and slide it down.
So here it is. So So you can see he's gonna wrap it around.
Wrap it around up here and slide it down.
That cut.
There we go.
I wonder if he's gonna tape it.
Okay, now we're gonna fill it up.
Oh, okay, we're gonna skip taping. You can tape it together to kind of hold it together, but you don't have to.
Just pack it in there. Yes.
When you're doing this, you do want to make sure that you're like kind of packing that soil under. You don't need it to be like super tight, but you don't want it to be loose either.
Best.
And let's see what. So again, once you have that all filled up, you're just going to wrap that foil around just like he did in the previous clip. So in this next example, he's going to follow the same process in the beginning, and he's going to be using, let's see, the Ziploc bag. So the Ziploc bag, you're just going to add the soil to it first.
There we go, just like that.
Like he did there.
Of soil. And what we're gonna do is take our knife.
Make a little
Make a slit.
Yep.
Down. Opening it up. And what we're gonna do is just wrap this around. And because it is a bigger branch, and we're gonna put a lot of soil, probably gonna take a little longer to root than the rest, but it's okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
Perfect.
And now the last method is using those domes. So it looks like you're going to fill 1/2, and they clip on together. So you do one on the bottom and one on the top.
Take the other one
And then you
and then
mush.
just seal it.
And so we've never used this before, so this is the first time. Oh, okay, so they clip on.
Got a little debris in there. And hold it in, but it kind of just pops right out. So anyway, just
Okay.
and hold it in, but it kind of just pops right out. So anyway,
Okay, so it looks like he's
just went and
using
found some string
to tie
I'm
together.
gonna tie it off.
Maybe it's just not a great product, and it's
Just to
just
kind of keep it from opening, because
not clipping on.
It opens up and everything becomes exposed. The roots fry up. Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I am not happy.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks nice, but really don't like that I had to add the string to it. It kind of takes away from the aesthetic. But anyway, let's move.
So I guess that is true. Like if you are going to buy a product, you don't want to have to jimmy rig it, right? You just want it to work right off the bat. So a little bit disappointing, but it might work really well. All right, so this next thing that they're doing is potting up my little dahlias. This is my stepdad and Sergey.
So I'm going to try to explain to him. I'm going to be working on tomatoes. He's going to be uppotting these little seeds that Claudia had going.
These are my little dahlia seedlings.
Oh my God, they're little tiny tubers right there.
They're so
That
cute.
is adorable. Okay, so the dial-up. Okay? Make beautiful, okay? Like this. Okay?
My stepdad is learning English. For him, it's like he's like it's so hard because it's like, you know, I'm older and it's just hard to learn another language. But he's so determined. Like he's so determined to learn English.
Make it beautiful.
He speaks Portuguese. That's our native
no
language in Brazil.
Okay, and then like this. Okay. Look at that. Oh my God, and there's even little tubers. Wow.
That's so
Wow, do you
cute.
guys see that?
I love how excited he is because he doesn't really participate in this part of gardening.
I am not allowed to participate.
He's like, I'm not allowed to participate. That's kind of true.
There's definitely time to up pot. Okay. this, with that. Okay? I didn't even have to tell him. He knows what we're gonna do. And more. Moss. Okay. Okay, and then moss around.
So this is great, but the only thing I would have done differently is I've been adding biotone into the soil because that's going to help with the root development. And I use a little bit of a moist soil, but as long as they water it, it's fine. Good potting mix is key though. So now Sergey is doing his tomatoes.
A little pride and joy. Man, they look great. I only started these, I think, like 2 weeks ago, not even.
Look at how big they are. Just in 2 weeks. Our tomatoes, like, I know we're so late this season, but I promise you, like, they will take off. And they'll be caught up with everybody else's tomatoes. It's insane how good our tomatoes do in our garden.
But so what I'm gonna do is I want to up-pod them, but I also want to encourage root growth along the stem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just pull off these lower leaves. We don't need them, and that's what I'm gonna do for every single one that I'm gonna plant, and I'm gonna plant them deep.
So same thing with the dahlia seedlings. I should have told this to Sergey. You can remove some of those lower, like, small leaves, and then you want to plant them deep. That will help them develop a bigger and better plant. And same with tomatoes, right? So whenever you buy tomatoes at the garden center or you grow your own, you want to plant them super deep because all of those little fuzzy things on the stems, those are potential roots. So I think that's exactly what Sergey's doing here. And I wonder if he's going to use biotone.
I'm sure if you...
I'm going to fast forward this. I know this video is probably getting a little bit long, but I love that he was comfortable enough to film all of this. Yes, he is using biotone.
I did it for the people.
Like, I did it for the people. And you know why he did this? I was asking him about this, like what made you want to do this? And he said last year or before, like, we really got into filming regularly, we were, because I've talked about this before, how I was just like having imposter syndrome and all of this. But and then my friend Janie came up from Dig Plant Water P, and she was like, Claudia, you need to do this full time. So anyways, we had a good pep talk, and here we are now filming 3 times a week. And so many years that we've done little things, little projects, we haven't shared that with anybody. And so now Sergey's like, I want to share with everybody what we do. Like, even these little moments, these little mundane things that might not seem important, but it's all part of the process and like how we get our garden to where it gets. And it might, again, seem like a little like, oh, you're not planting, 50 things today or whatever, like a tree or whatever, but these are tasks that we do in our garden, and we want to share that because if you are a new gardener and you want to know, like, okay, what does it take to do this and that? Well, this is part of it, right? Like, it might not be the prettiest video or the prettiest job, or maybe, just, again, things that you probably do in your own garden right now if you are an experienced gardener. But for, it's just fun to see, like, what other people do, what their process is, and what their thought process is. So Sergey was just really like, I really want to show everybody, like, I want to share everything that we do from now on and not just, the result. So I thought that was really sweet. So that's perfect. So basically what you're doing is you want to plant your tomatoes again deep. Use a little bit of biotone. You can actually just mix the biotone directly with your potting soil. Mix. That way you don't have to do a little sprinkle here, add the soil, all that business. And then you're just gonna plant it deep, pack in that soil because like Sergey said, it's going to settle, especially after you water. So just make sure you get everything kind of packed in there neatly. And that's it. And then you water until you're getting ready to plant them out.
Because, I'm not growing all these for myself. I'm growing them for friends and family.
So that is one thing. Like we get asked a lot, like, what do you do with, you start like 3,000 flower seeds, or you start like, I don't know, a couple hundred tomatoes at a time. This year we didn't do that many, but we usually do a ton. And it's because we give them away. We like to grow things to give away to our family and our friends and our neighbors. So for us, it's fun to grow things out, but obviously we don't have the space to plant everything that we grow. I mean, again, we start thousands of seeds every year, different plants, tomatoes, flowers, and all of that business. but it's just to share. So it doesn't go to waste. It's not like we throw these away. They always go to, somebody. So that is basically what he did. So he got 3 major tasks done while I was gone. And he actually did a ton of organizing in the garden, because when I left, it's kind of embarrassing, but I left things like a wreck. The deck was full of dahlias. He actually had to pack up all of the dahlias that didn't get planted. Would you say there's probably like 200 tubers that still need to get planted? Minimum?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's still a ton of dahlias to get planted.
But basically, the dahlia storage room looks unchanged.
Oops. So, and he's just like rolling his eye. So I'm really lucky in that one of my really good friends, she just recently moved into a new house and she has about half an acre. And so she has like a plot that she has tilled up for me. So I'm going to be planting some of our dahlias there this year, which like the biggest blessing to have her, and for her to be able to like do that for me. I just, yeah, I'm so happy that I don't have to like sacrifice and get rid of a lot of our tubers. But so yeah, it'll be fun. But I still have a ton to plant in the landscape. So all of our beds are full of the dahlias in the cut flower garden, and now I will just transition some of the ones that did make it into the cut flower garden out into the landscape. So we're gonna have flowers galore this year as well. And let's see, what else did Sergey do? He just did a lot of cleaning up. I know you didn't record that, did you? No, okay. So there's just a lot going on, and I don't know. I'm so happy that you did this.
We kept everything alive.
You kept everything alive. Thank you.
Everything beautiful.
Yes, you did. It's pretty. I mean, I've been looking at the security cameras, and I'm just like, wow, everything looks
my pride
amazing.
and joy are these 3 things that I showed here. And I regret not recording the dahlias.
I know, because you did such a good job.
Well, you can show them when you get back.
Yeah,
show them your 2 beds and my 2 beds.
I'm not gonna show you.
And then
I'm kidding, I will.
Decide who should be running the YouTube channel.
No. Okay, just relax. Now your head's getting bigger. Your head's getting bigger.
Tell them what I said.
Sergey's like, if you didn't hear him, he's not mic'd up. But he said, when you get back, show them the dahlia beds that I planted, and then show them your dahlia beds that you planted, and then let you guys decide who should be running the YouTube channel, because he's so proud, because it does look really neat. Like the way he did it, I was like, that's my OCD coming off on, or rubbing off on him now. So
you are the way you are because of me.
No, you are the way that you are because of me. Yes. Anyways, that will wrap it up for today's video. I just wanted to put out a bonus video for you guys. And he told me he had this footage. I was like, let's totally release this and show everybody what you were able to do. And again, I'm so happy that he was comfortable enough to film you guys. I did tell him, like, why didn't you film like you and my stepdad together? We just see your beautiful hands, but not the rest of you. So baby steps, we're getting there. It's hard to film. Like it's, a lot of people don't want to be on camera, and I totally respect that. I totally respect that. But I think it's just nice to have people and like your family be able to help you in this way and take care of things for you when you're not there. And especially having a partner who enjoys the same things that you do, it's the best. Like I honestly feel so blessed for Sergey and that we get to do this together, because it just makes this whole experience and this whole journey so much better. So anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and watching Sergey take over my garden for the week that I was gone before him. And I cannot wait to get back to our garden and see how things are looking. We do have a couple of garden tours coming out for you guys from the Cotswolds. Again, we have been having such a good time here, but I am so ready to get into my garden. Like after seeing this, I was a little bit sad today. I was like actually crying a little bit because I was like, I don't want to leave yet. It's so beautiful. But I'm also like, I cannot wait to see everything that you guys did while I was gone. So anyways, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Bye-bye.